Cardio is the tool to sculpt you up just like Michelangelo would and burn off all that body fat. You know this. But today, I'm going to show you how I do cardio.
Create cool things.
Welcome back to the YouTube channel, friends. It's great to see you here. If you didn't know, my name is Bryan, and if you had a moment, that would be amazing if you hit the like button, left a nice little comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about my main strategies for how I do cardio and how I use it to stay nice and lean. And you're going to want to pay attention to this one because summer's coming up, and I'm sure you're going to be heading out to the beach and trying to flex that six-pack of yours. So let's get into it. Look, I know cardio can definitely be miserable, so it's very, very important first and foremost that you do cardio that you enjoy, that's efficient, and that's also nice on your body. So here's the thing, you want to be able to find that sweet spot between the cardio you enjoy and the cardio that's most efficient. I love to walk, but for the amount of calories it burns, it just takes too long. If I do 30 minutes of elliptical, I can usually burn like 300 calories. If I were to walk and burn 300 calories, it would take me like over an hour. Now, the caveat here is what your goals are. If you're really trying to maintain more muscle, you're going to want to stick to that lower intensity cardio. But if you just want to efficiently burn a bunch of calories, you're definitely going to want to up the intensity of the cardio. So the main cardio I do like 6 to 7 days a week is walking. I usually walk between 1 to 2 miles a day. And this is almost always first thing in the morning. But my main cardio session that I do pretty much every single day is going to be on the elliptical. And this is for usually between 30 and 40 minutes with an average heart rate at around 140. And I like to get nice and sweaty. Sometimes I'll get on my recumbent bike. Sometimes I'll go for a 1 to 2 mile run, but these are pretty few and far between. Now, if you like to do sweaty cardio like I do, one thing you really need to keep in mind are the electrolytes that you're losing when you're sweating, which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, and it could not be a more perfect sponsor. It's Element. And Element is a very delicious electrolyte drink mix. So one of the primary electrolytes that you lose when you sweat is sodium. If you're sweating a bunch, some athletes can lose up to 7 grams, that's 7,000 milligrams of sodium every single day. And as you might already know, when sodium isn't replaced after those long sweaty sessions, your muscles are going to cramp up and you're going to get really fatigued. And I've experienced this firsthand, and usually it makes me pretty freaking grumpy. And yeah, I get it. This is a sponsored part of the video, but believe me when I say I drink an Element every single day because I have to be on my electrolyte game. It's my main strategy for making sure I get optimal cardio sessions and still feel really good throughout the day. Now, the great thing about Element is it's got a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Also, the great news is each packet is only 10 calories and it won't break your fast, and there's no junk in it. There's no sugar, there's no coloring or artificial ingredients, there's no gluten, there's no fillers, which makes it freaking fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong here, it still tastes really good. I personally like the watermelon flavor, but also they just dropped a grapefruit flavor, which I've been loving as well. Right now, Element is offering my subscribers a free sample pack with any order. So that's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/BryanAdamC. Now, this deal is only available through my link. So you must go to drinklmnt.com/BryanAdamC. So besides replenishing electrolytes, one of my main strategies is doing my cardio sessions after my strength training. And the reason behind this is pretty simple. It's to make sure that I'm using most of my effort for my strength training so I can get the most muscle fatigue and tear down, and then the ideal result is to build more muscle. My next strategy is determining how much cardio I'm going to do once I'm done with my morning walk as well as my strength training. If I just got done training legs, usually I burn between 4 400 and 500 calories. Plus that morning walk, I may only need to do a minimum of 30 minutes on the elliptical to try and hit around a total of 1,000 active calories burned for the day. But if I've trained arms for the day, my move goal may only be at like 400. So I'm gonna need to do a little bit more cardio, maybe up to 40-45 minutes worth of cardio. Now this next strategy is a big one for me. Every single cardio session needs to have what I call a breakthrough moment. I know it sounds like some magical kind of thing. It's really not. It's what some people might refer to as like a runner's high. And I usually hit this point at around like 20 minutes or so into my cardio session. And this is where I find the most enjoyment out of my cardio. And this moment is when my mind and body stop fighting the fact that this cardio sucks and just embraces it. And if you've ever experienced this before, it is fantastic. Now, one thing to note is I typically need to have my heart rate up above 130 to really get to this point. If I'm just walking around my neighborhood for miles, I won't really ever experience this kind of thing. It typically happens with a little bit more intensity in my cardio sessions. And look, if you're just swishing on the elliptical for 30-40 minutes, I understand it can get really boring. And this is why you do want to figure out what is the cardio that you enjoy. Maybe it's mountain biking, maybe it is walking. I've definitely found that cardio goes much faster when you're outside and actually moving somewhere. But for me, the elliptical is the most efficient way to burn a bunch of calories and not have a bunch of high impact like running that's going to break down my body and eat into muscle tissue. So what I do to make it less boring is simply listen to music and literally think. It's one of my hobbies. I love to think and self-examine. This is where I get a lot of creative ideas and maybe new YouTube video ideas, whatever it might be. This is my time to have introspective moments, and it's great for my mental health and obviously as well the physical benefits that come with cardio. No matter who you are, you should be doing some kind of cardio. It's so great for your heart health, for your mental health. Now, you may not necessarily have to do as much cardio as me, but please try and do it at least a few times a week and find cardio that you really love. There are numerous benefits around doing cardio every single week. I will say that ultimately, when my cardio is up, that's when I'm like the most shredded. Obviously, my diet is also very dialed in. That's very paramount, but when I'm doing like 30 minutes to an hour of cardio 6 times a week, it's nearly impossible for me to put on a bunch of body fat. Well, friends, those are my thoughts on cardio. Those are my strategies. Definitely check out Element. I've got to say, replenishing your electrolytes is a game changer when doing a bunch of sweaty cardio. Thanks so much for watching this one. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video. Peace. For example, I absolutely love to walk. It's one of my favorite forms of cardying. Well, cardying. Dude, what is cardying? It's like partying, but with cardio. 7,000 milligrams of sodio. My next strategy is before I do Wow.